In this overview, we are going to discuss two new maps features: split view and timeline maps. A map with a split view applied allows you to view the same map split into several periods, as you can see in the example here. Timeline maps allow you to apply a timeline to the map and view changes over time. We can demonstrate this by clicking on the play button for the timeline included in this map. Let's go through the process of creating these types of maps within the Maps app. Both split view and timeline maps are added as thematic layers. I can go ahead and add a new thematic layer and select my data as I normally would. When I select the Period tab, you will see some new options in this selection when compared to the previous period selection. The previous period selection is located on the right for you to compare. In the new selection, we now have three options to select from under the Display Periods heading: Single, Aggregate. This is the default view and will create a map that aggregates data for any of the periods that you have selected. This is what you could create in all previous versions of DHIS 2. We then have the Timeline option, which allows you to create a timeline map. And lastly, we have the Split Map Views option. This allows you to create a split map view. We can see that the previous period selection interface did not have the ability to choose any display periods, as these new map types are supported only as of DHIS 2.33. In order to create either a timeline or split view map, we need to select a relative period. In this case, I want to compare several periods, so I should select a relative period that covers multiple periods. For example, the last 6 months. We can leave the organization units, filter, and style options as default for now. If we were to keep the single aggregate option selected in the display period selection, it would take the data for the last 6 months, aggregate it, and display it on the map. This view is what we are used to when we were using the Maps app in previous versions of DHIS 2. Let's go back and edit this thematic layer. We will change the display period to split map views instead of single aggregate. Now we can see that instead of viewing data aggregated for the relative period we selected, which was the last 6 months, there are 6 separate maps that have been created, one for each month within the relative period that we have selected. Reviewing this map, we can quickly review differing performance within the same geography, districts in this example, from month to month. For example, we can see wide fluctuations in the month-to-month BCG coverage in Koinadugu district as indicated via the map legend. It shows a value of 62 in July, 89 in August, 108 in September, and then drops down to 0 in October. This fluctuation is indicated by the legend as we can see the varying colors on the map from month to month using the split map view. The maps created using the split view function are all synchronized and work together. If I zoom out, all of the maps will zoom out together. If I drill down and then zoom in on the map, we can see that all maps in this view will perform these functions together. This allows you to always have the same view for the different periods you are comparing within this map type. One thing to note for this map type is that split view maps cannot be combined with other map layers. If I select the Add Layer button, you will notice a prompt indicating split view cannot be combined with other layer types. Make sure to note this when you are using the split map view. We can update the map one last time in order to review the timeline maps that can be made. We can go back and edit the thematic layer, change the display period to timeline, and then update the map layer. The timeline map is now created. It shows the timeline at the bottom of the map itself, starting from the first period from within your relative period selection. I can play the timeline map back by selecting the play button in the left corner. This will automatically start playing back different map views based on the period it is displaying data for. Using the timeline, I can also select any period in order to review the data for that period. Note that for timeline maps, you can add additional layers. This sets it apart from split map views. These maps can be integrated on the dashboard, and all the functionality shown within the Maps app remains on the dashboard. This means all split view maps are synced, and you can drill down or drill up and zoom in and out of the map. And for timeline maps, you can play back the map, and select any period within the timeline to review data for a specific period. Split view and timeline maps add a new way to review data for multiple periods within the Maps app together. The process to create them is streamlined through the Display Periods options and gives more flexibility in how you choose to review mapped data outputs. We look forward to hearing your feedback on these features. For any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to contact us on the Community of Practice.